Welcome to Fun and Games Side Quests. Every episode is a different host sharing a video game they love and why they love it.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the pilot episode of what we are calling Fun and Games Side Quests. I am one of your hosts, Matt aka Stormageddon. This is a series that we wanted to start, myself and my co-host Jeff, that allows whoever is doing the episode to kind of deep dive on a specific game that they're really excited about, that they're really into at the time. They'll be scripted maybe sometimes not. In case you're wondering, this one is not. We'll see how it goes. But I wanted to create a space where not just Jeff and I, but anyone can gush about a game they loved from their past or from their present, and it not take up an hour like our, 45 minutes to an hour like our typical episodes. A nice tight 10 to 15 minute episode about why you love this game and why it's really important to you. I don't think this space will ever be something to shout down games or talk about why something sucked. I think there's enough people on the internet doing that. I think this will continue, like the main show, to be a celebration of games. And today I wanted to talk about a game called Control, which I played for the first time last week on PS4 and fell in love with. Control, for those who don't know, is by Remedy Studios. They're the same game company that have done Alan Wake, which if you follow me on Twitch, seen at some point recently that I had played and have been playing. They also did the Max Payne series, as well as other stuff as well. Control is a new game, new franchise, about a young woman whose brother was taken from her when she was young and was brought to the Federal Bureau of Control for some reason that she's unsure of, but she knows she wants to find her brother, at least, who's been gone for a long time. The rest of the narrative to reveal here in the episode would be very spoilery. So I don't think I'm going to get too much into that. I might talk about the mechanics a little, but I don't really want to ruin the experience of this story because it is wild as hell. To start, I guess I can say that it's a hard mix between Twin Peaks, Doctor Who, and the X-Files. So if you like all of those things, this might be a game for you. The combat is third-person action, there's platforming, there's some superpowers, and some shooting of guns. As someone who's not great at shooters, I think it has pretty tight controls, and that even if you're not adept at shooting games, you'd probably very much still enjoy this game. I died, enough that it became frustrating at certain points, but overall, the game was great, and I was able to finish the main story. I haven't completed it by any means. As of when I'm recording this, I finished the main story, which took about 11 hours or so. I think that it might have even taken me a little longer because I had to replay some stuff. But it's a good time. It's a fun game. And the story absolutely blew me away. And not just the story, but the music, the writing, the voice acting, the graphics in general were just mind-bendingly realistic. There's a ton of files and videos that you could find within the game that have real actors, like in live action, acting out certain scenes, which added a visceral level of realism to this wacky game. Wacky on a weird level, not wacky as in a goofy, cartoony level, that kind of made the immersion even stronger. I think that the reason I want to talk about it on here, even without revealing the plot, is because I really just want other people to play this game. I'm very excited about this series. I hear it connects to Alan Wake, which I'm playing now, which I'm also loving so far. I think I'm up to chapter 3 or 4 as of when I'm recording this. But I'm really excited for what Control does next. There's been some DLC, which I haven't played yet, but I hear is kind of in sort of independent mission within the narrative of the game. Like, it doesn't really add on the main story. It's kind of just an additional mission in this strange and unique world. But I think it was important to do an episode of this show about because I want to make more people aware of it and how much I really liked it. I yelled about it on the internet, but sometimes that's not enough. I am realizing, though, while recording this, that it is hard to talk about without diving into the narrative, right? Because you want to talk about story without spoiling an experience for someone. And so much of this game is based on its narrative is why I loved it. Like, the combat and the mechanics were great. They felt good. They felt like a perfectly fitting glove. So those are really great, and I can laud those, but that's not the reason I came to this game, because there are other games that have tight combat and mechanics like this. I clearly came to this game because of how revolutionary the story was. In fact, my favorite moment in the game is impossible to talk about without completely ruining the plot. And so I can't. I'm just going to say the words ashtray maze, which will have zero meaning to you until you've played the game. But that said, I had heard those words too from another podcaster, and once I got the context, was really excited. That said, Control. Go buy this game. Play it as soon as you can. If you're a fan of science fiction at all, this game is perfect for that kind of fan. I can't emphasize that enough. Even if you don't think you're very good at games, I believe you can adjust the difficulty level. And that said, again, it's not an impossible game to play. It's more about discovering the story than the mechanics and the gameplay for me. Although, unlike a recent episode of Left Behind Games Club that I was a guest on about The Last of Us, I would say that the gameplay moments further the narrative here too. They aren't just isolated things to move you from cutscene to cutscene. I'd say that the combat in this game and the immersion of the combat is integral to the story and the narrative continuation of this game. So yeah, definitely go check out Control by Remedy Games. This episode is going to be on the shorter side because I think they should run a natural course of us being able to just gush about our favorite games and then tag those companies in our tweets and our shared posts so they know that we're sharing this love. Because at the end of the day, the reason that Jeff and I do the main show and want to do something like this is to celebrate games. We talk about that a lot. The show is called Fun and Games with fun in quotes, not because we don't think you should have fun playing games, but quite the opposite. We think that fun is integral to playing games and the celebration of it, but what is fun is different per person playing games. And I think that if you're someone who likes a strong story, a ton of sci-fi, confusing narratives that just leave you with more questions than answers until they answer them, this is the game for you. I can't recommend it enough. Please tweet at me, DJ_Stormageddon, if you've played it and you've loved it. Tell me why. If it's a spoilery reason, feel free to DM me or post on the Discord server with spoiler tags. But please, talk about this game. It's really phenomenal. I loved playing it. I loved every moment I spent with it. I want to replay it. And I cannot wait to see what Remedy does next with this franchise. It's supposedly going to connect to Alan Wake at some point, and I'm really excited to see that crossover because I love when universes of original content just get bigger. So anyway, that's enough from me. I hope you enjoyed this chat about Control. If you'd like to see more of these kinds of episodes, we would like to make them. So please let us know somewhere on the internet where you can find us. Go to certainpov.com to see other shows and the main podcast on this feed, which is Fun and Games with Matt and Jeff. And until next time, I've been Matt, aka Stormageddon, and happy gaming.
We've made difficult decisions.
And there are still more ahead of us.
2 people aren't enough to save the galaxy.
We need the toughest,
smartest,
deadliest allies.
We need you.
We need you to join us.
And listen to Reignite.
A certain point of view podcast about storytelling.
Love.
And Mass Effect.
Join us every other Thursday as we fight for the fate of an entire galaxy.
You can find us everywhere you get your podcasts.
Or at certainpov.com/reignite.
We're counting on you.
We should go.
CPOV. certainpov.com